Hey guys, welcome back. I am Jason Salyer, and today I'm making a fire starter. This is a ferrocerium rod. It's a great big jumbo one. It's a 1/2 inch by 6 inch, I think it is, or 5 inch. And I'm going to be inserting it into a fatwood or pitchwood or pine pitch, whatever you want to call it. It's resin-soaked pine wood that's been sitting in the ground for a long, long time and it hasn't rotted. And it hasn't rotted because it is infused richly with that pine resin. And that acts as a preservative. But the good news is it's also really, really flammable. And I'll demonstrate that here in just a second. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create myself a handle that's not only something that helps me hold on to this big ferro rod, it's also something I can scrape off. I can scrape off pieces of this fat wood and use it to help start my fire. See if I can get a little bit of resin to drip off here and use that to glue the ferro rod in there. I could use like a Gorilla Glue or something like that, but I'm going to try to avoid that. But obviously you can see how long this stuff burns. Igniting one of these little sticks of pitchwood here, fatwood, whatever you want to call it, igniting just one of these little sticks would burn long enough to dry out any wet kindling, wet tinder that you might have. Just trying to get just a tiny bit of that resin on here. I don't need much. There we go. Just a little bit. And then I'm gonna try to show it to you, but I gotta get it in there while it's still hot. Just a little bit of resin on there, and then I'm gonna drive this puppy in there. Like so. And now I've got a big chunky ferro rod with a great big chunk of fatwood on there. Just gonna round off the corners a little bit so it's not poking holes in my backpack, that kind of thing. Just rounded off the corners a little bit so it's not pokey. I could throw that into one of the big pockets of my pack. And that is going to be a jumbo fire starter that's going to last a long, long time. I could obviously use smaller ferro rods. I could obviously use a smaller piece of pitchwood here, pitch pine. But I think that this big old jumbo one's going to be a nice one to keep in the truck. And it'll be ready to go. Now, ferro rod is not my #1 preferred source of fire. I generally keep a Bic lighter in my pocket. But if you have the reason I don't like the ferro rod as my #1 source of fire is because it is less reliable than the lighter. This is not a flame. This is a hot spark. So you need some sort of tinder in order to turn this into a flame. And tinder, when it's wet and pouring down rain outside, can often be hard to find. However, if you have that tinder source and the ferro rod all in one place, it's, I would say, equally as good as a lighter as far as being reliable. And I'll show you what I mean. To scrape off shavings, and this is waterproof. You know, it doesn't matter if it gets wet, doesn't matter if it gets rained on. It's not going to hurt anything. So now you can see the shavings that I've got here with just about 20 seconds of effort there. Add the stuff that came off of the drill bit just for fun. I've got my little sticks here. Little sticks here of fatwood as well if I wanted to use those. All the shavings from the carving process. But you get the idea. I could probably make that pile happen in less than a minute. And then this is a brand new ferro rod, so it's got some coating on it. But if I scrape that coating off and secure my my ferro rod on the ground here or on my workbench, and get that lit up, and that is going to burn for a very, very long time, and any wet kindling that I might just throw on top of there is going to have plenty of time to dry out as I do it. So a good solid knife or multi-tool. Multi-tools are great. I always keep a Leatherman Wave in my pocket. Always, always, always. And the saw is actually the best striker for the ferro rod. So if I've always got my multi-tool or a sturdy fixed blade knife or even a folder that has a 90-degree spine on the back, you can use the blade, but it will dull it. So you want to try to avoid that and want to use that 90-degree spine on the back of your fixed blade. And I've got this. This is one heck of a fire starter that's going to get the job done.